What is this?
We're recording.
All right. Let's jump into this. This is TVT time.
I'm not even set yet.
Well, why are we recording then?
You can't thrust it in yet if I'm not lubed up yet.
You know what? The show is always going to be dirty. I'm sorry, everybody. We're going to start the show now. First of all,
I'm going to say something before we start the show. I think we almost need an energy cleanse right now because we feel so negative and angry and agitated.
How do I not overstate this?
We gotta let it go.
I feel like I was raped.
You know, that might be a bit far.
I was raped by Logo. No, it's the same feeling.
Okay.
I was psychically raped by this episode.
Well, we definitely were disappointed.
That's probably a better way of putting it.
Okay, sure. Sure. But seriously, I'm telling you, let's take a breath right
close
now.
To rape.
Let's take a breath through our nose. I'm serious. We are cleansing.
This was a shit show.
Think about
this was a terrible episode.
You're not going to relax.
And now I don't care. So anyway, we've been kind of like we've been saying how we like this show.
We did. It was making us like it more.
Like this. Now, in the last episode, we were kind of like, we'll see where this goes. This episode was a fucking abortion. It was awful.
You know,
like
that's actually not being dramatic.
It was actually the one like it was like a worse than a Housewives. It was like not even with no humor at all.
No, it was bad. It was
bad episode.
It was
bad producers. Bad.
It was. Well, I think what was not very effective in this episode is that it just felt like a completely different show.
It did, and also at the very end, they slapped a resolution on it, like you would. Let's say like a homeless person died, and then for her funeral, you painted her up like a clown.
That's basically what they did.
That's basically what happened. Like she went through liver failure,
and you know what?
She looked awful. And then
Patrick was holding a whipped cream pie in that last episode, like a clown.
What the fuck was that?
What the fuck was that? I think he's huffing it.
That remains.
You know
to be
what?
seen.
He's too skinny and he has too much energy.
I did not say that.
That's all I'm saying.
But so we still have we're going to soldier on and do this episode.
We are going to.
So we're still going to read comments.
Like? You know what this feels like? I don't think I've been this upset since the last episode of True Blood.
Oh no, the whole season,
the whole last season.
You know what? Don't watch that. Don't watch that show.
That. I remember
this is off topic. As some of our
you know what? I don't care. You know what? We're going to read some comics, and some people are upset. That's what I said.
You said comics.
Whatever. So people are upset that why am I not drinking? That we've gone off topic. You know what? We're going to try to stay on topic, but I'm sorry. If you wanted to stay on...
This was bad.
If you want us to stay on topic about this episode, you're an asshole because this episode sucked.
I'm not going to actively criticize our listeners.
I am. One of our commenters did. So, but it does feel like that last season. I didn't even care when that naked werewolf when the naked Joe Manganiello or whatever his name is.
Manganiello.
Whatever. When he got shot, I was like, oh, finally.
I know. We all wanted them to die.
That's what True Blood did to me, and that's what Logo you've done too.
Oh, that was bad. Anyway, this was bad.
This was bad. So let's read some comments apparently how bad we were.
And I'm
last
just going to get drunk.
You know what? Would you like to?
We're very argumentative now.
That's true. We have to love each other.
It's true.
Our environment's going to hell.
I'm trying to soften you up, and you're like angry.
Have you? You have never tried to soften anyone up in your life.
I'm trying to be the nice one. I'm trying to be a good cop here. Let me read a fucking comment. Give me that fucking thing. Can we? I want to read Chris Brown's. If this is the real Chris Brown, you know what? You need to stop beating up girls.
I'm sure Chris Brown is watching this show right now.
He says,
I hope he is.
Remember when you were more professional? I love the sarcasm implied by remember you when you were more professional.
I can't.
The recaps of Prince Charming were funnier and easier to watch. This new format of banter and disorganization are not really funny. Then that kind of intoxicated cross X's for eyes. You could probably have a larger audience if you would get your shits together. You know, that's a read, and it cuts deep. And I understand that, but Listen, Chris Brown,
Cut the
we're
teeth.
doing the best we can, just like you beating the shit out of Rihanna. That was the best you could do.
That was the best he could do. That
anyway.
was the best he. But I think
Someone did comment on the...
I told him we appreciate the tea. And
the comment after yours, which you just took away.
No. Yeah. Someone did. Tay Fontaine said, "Please keep your small singing break. I live for them."
Oh, thank you, Tay.
You know what? We were planning on ending this episode with a song.
But then we said, this episode does not deserve it.
We said, fuck this shit.
Because this episode would just be bitterness. It would be like an Alanis Morissette song.
But I don't know
We
if
should sing You Ought to Know.
they're making a musical of
I
that.
do know, and it's a great idea. I had that idea.
That is a good idea. But I have to say, though, Chris Brown then left another comment that says, "Mama loves you and wants you to succeed." So
okay.
I think,
Okay.
and I think there's some truth in what Chris Brown said.
Okay.
There was a little bit of shade from some.
I'm all right with that.
Jade Z just left a gross comment saying, "See, I was right."
Oh!
She just basically jacked off in front of us.
You know what, JT? No one likes a gloater.
And then Dren X says, "Everyone goes to jail." And I don't know what that means. I don't know what that comment means.
I don't either, but I enjoyed it.
Now, I will say...
I don't have to understand something.
We did... not a lot of you follow us on Facebook, mainly because Jake won't friend you. But...
I won't friend crazy people.
But we did have a comment on Facebook from our comment.
And we love Facebook commenters. This is probably our number one fan.
This probably is. So... But yeah, this is... I'm not saying we agree with anyone. I'm just saying if it's fair to read both sides.
We prefer positive comments.
No, I actually like Chris Brown. I
do too.
I think, you know what? He made us have a good conversation about the show. And we're going to need it after this shit show we just watched.
This is not going to be good.
We're trying to keep focused, Chris Brown. We're just so angry right now.
I got a lot to say, though, later on.
So our commenter, Rebecca Barker, says, "I don't know how to leave comments on YouTube."
Bless you, because I barely knew either.
You know, and she says,
we're the same age.
"Please read this on your next show." Jade.
Done.
Okay. Jade.
Becca, this is for you.
Let me start it the third time.
I'm getting an echo.
Yeah, I'm getting
Sorry.
Yeah. Jade Z, I hope you choke on your tea. Jake and Maddie are...
I don't.
I hope you don't.
I respect you, Jade Z.
Jake and Maddie are hysterical. If you want a simple recap, read last week's TV guide. Ooh, shade.
Which I don't know if exists anymore.
It does. It does.
Wow.
It does. And then she says, "And leave Sophie alone, you jackhole." Because Jade Z was very confused about my dog's dementia. And
You know
Jade
what?
Z,
and that's a diagnosed condition.
you know what? I have to say,
Sophie has had
we
it.
could take the comments, but if you want to talk about my dog, fuck you in your ass with a rolling pin.
Oh, yeah, you don't go
Don't
for,
talk
you
about
don't-
my
don't
dog.
Come for her dog.
But other than that, we love you. Thanks for watching. Please comment.
Okay, let's
Just
get
share
to
it
the
on
show.
Facebook.
Let's get to the show because this has already been painful
And we are
enough.
back because of Chris Brown. We realize we haven't been doing our tea bags, and we are back to tea bags because
back
of
to
Chris
tea
Brown.
bags.
We appreciate you.
I
I just can't find my notes. There we go. Why don't you go first?
No,
Teabag one.
you go first because
want me
mine
to-
is a little further in. I
Oh
think.
boy, they always say that to you. All right, I just want to say,
Is it in yet?
Is it in yet? All right, so teabag number one.
Okay.
My teabag. So we are starting off that they're kind of, it's a new day, you know,
A new rosé.
day.
As Cheyenne says.
Began. I love that Celine song.
It's a great song.
And so it's a new day, and so they decide to do a workout on the beach.
Oh, you are farther than me.
No, that
That's
was the
fine.
beginning.
No, that's like halfway through the show.
It is?
Yeah, because that's Patrick, and they've already had their encounter. They've already had their angry moment.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Can I start over? I'm sorry, Chris. I'm sorry. I'm trying to focus.
Can you edit that out, maybe?
You know I don't like to edit.
All right, sorry.
Sorry. This
This is part of the problem.
Maybe I will edit it out. I won't. This is, my first thing is, where the hell did Jorge come from when he walked into that house? He was like, "Hello, everyone."
He was like, where are you? But he's like, with Mistress.
With Mistress.
With Mistress.
I mean,
I've been with Mistress.
He was, but his face was so. He
He's
reminded
like
me.
fuck drunk. We call that fuck drunk.
You know what it reminds me?
Like
It
this.
reminds me of the one time I went to a county fair with you, and you ate so much fair food. You were just like fair food sick, and just like, but you couldn't stop
I
smiling.
had like a sausage dog and like a funnel cake and like a snow cone,
and like a deep fried
and
pig
I was
butt.
Oh God.
You can't.
Fair food.
You cannot control yourself.
Fair food is almost as good as sex. You know what? I would say fair food is better than sex. That's controversial, but
I think
I'm
you're
gonna
right.
say that.
I think you're right.
I'm making some controversy today.
He was drunk.
He was fuck drunk
Drunk from lube.
But I did enjoy him like just walking in.
I did.
Going,
It was nice.
I've been with Mistress.
I've been with Mistress. That was my first team.
I enjoyed that. My first one is probably our final poodle proclamation.
Oh God.
Drum roll,
As
please.
we know, our poodle proclamation before: don't leave sand at the bitches beach.
Don't come to the beach. Don't bring sand at the beach.
Okay.
Don't bring a boyfriend to Fire Island.
Okay, and this is a new poodle
This is another
proclamation.
one. You might.
It's hard to do.
That's
drum
the
with one
worst
hand.
drum roll.
It's hard to do drum with just
You're
one
just seizing and like jerking off in a bad way.
It does.
So don't stop it. When your boyfriend comes to visit, don't put his face on a bunch of T-shirts and make all your friends wear them, because that's weird and it's creepy, and it would make everyone else think, who am I in a relationship with? And to see that, and Justin, we love you.
I do love Justin.
You think it's going to be funny? You ever had that thing where you think something's going to be cute when you say it to someone you're
Yes.
dating, and then you say it out loud, and you're like, that was just weird and creepy,
Yes.
and that took a lot of work. Like,
That's the best explanation for it. You do it, and then you're like, wow, that took a lot of work.
He silk-screened all those T-shirts of his face, and it was kind of a bad version of his face.
He
and
looked
everyone's
kind of
like,
bad on the
hey,
T-shirt.
boo-boo, or bootsy, or booby, and like, and he walked in, and it's like, oh, and you know he wanted to say, I don't think this is working.
It looks like something Rebecca De Mornay would do in a movie where she's going to take over a woman's
I'm telling
life.
you, what you do when someone's
That was a
wearing
good
T-shirts
reference.
of your face, it is. When someone's wearing T-shirts of your face, you just walk out the door. That's what I would do. But to teach the lesson, you don't do that anymore.
I think for your next birthday, I'm going to make T-shirts with your face on it.
And I will scratch your face with my fingernails.
Okay.
That's what I'll do.
All right.
Trade one face for another.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, that's my poodle proclamation and my first tea bag.
All right. Well, okay, my second tea bag. Can we talk about the beach now? The beach happened now, right?
Yes, the workout.
The workout on the
it
beach.
happened after the big fight, but that's fine.
No.
Yes, it did.
It did?
Because we were bitchy the next day. You don't even remember the episode.
I don't remember that episode. The thing I want to talk about, what is the moment where Patrick says, no. Patrick says, he says, everybody's acting like nothing's happening, but I just can't do that. I can't pretend to be somebody else.
That's earlier. It's not the workout.
Oh, it's not the workout. Okay. So whenever that's the point I want to talk about.
Okay.
When Patrick,
Glad we solved that.
Well, yes, when he's, and he's saying, everybody's just acting like nothing happened yesterday, but I just got to be me. And I like it.
You know, this is sad, actually.
Honestly, Patrick,
It's
say that.
bad reality show behavior.
Well, he said something like, I can't be somebody else. And I'm like,
well,
honey, you never have been. It's not like you're Meryl fucking Streep.
These fucked up ideas of group therapy that slowly emerged through reality shows where everyone has to talk about everything.
Mm-hmm.
This is not one of them.
No, it's not.
This is not even okay. Put aside the issue of Cheyenne cheated or not. Put aside that issue. It doesn't matter. The fact that his boyfriend is there and you may or may not know and saying, I feel like I'm being fake, because that's like saying, I feel like because I'm not enjoying your food that you made for me, that's a problem that I need to talk about, and it affects me because I'm lying because I'm saying I'm liking your food.
Well, we're going to get into this more when we talk about the fight, but
Okay.
Yes,
This was an awful staged reality show fight. I don't know if producers did this or not, or Patrick just took it upon himself, but everyone was horrified because it seemingly had no reason for being.
Yeah, it was.
Let's talk about the fucking fight.
Let's
do it.
Well,
I'm piggybacking.
I just
on
want to
yours.
say one other thing before we get in, because this fight's going to take some time. I just wanted that Kassan's moving back to New York, and no one cares because we always knew that he would. I love Kassan, but
because the lamest ever argument is, should I move to New York? Should I move to LA?
But
Should I
that
move
is
to
when
New
he
York?
surprised
Should I move to LA?
Jorge. He did. That was before the fight. He surprised Jorge.
That was in the middle of the fight. You have no.
I don't know where I've been. I do not know where I've been in this episode. It brought me around in town.
Here's the thing. Just why can't we just talk about the fight now?
Let's just get it out.
You're trying to think chronologically. I just think controversially.
We don't do that. We've never done that.
But yeah, stop trying.
You know what I think as I'm talking about it? It's because that was
because the show started as a 2-part episode, and it started with the fight.
Yes, but it still was weird because 40 minutes of the episode was just the fight.
No, actually, not really. It
felt like 2 hours.
Bad feelings after the fight, and then 20 minutes was them saying we're going to make up, and it was the most empty thing ever. I'm trying to put a brave face on this, but I can't lie because everyone knows that I'm the worst liar ever. And this was a piece of shit.
So let's see. We're on T-Back. I think this is 4 now. So let's
no,
just talk
I'm
about
on 3.
Okay, well let's just talk about the fight then.
Okay, I already talked about it.
Oh, okay.
Right.
To me, I think that with this fight, Patrick is just. You know, we have come around so much where initially I kind of liked Patrick and I thought he was, fun. And I know you never loved him. And then you like Cheyenne more, and I've really come around to Cheyenne. And
I was right. I love it.
It really goes back to what you were saying that, like, did Cheyenne cheat on his boyfriend?
Who cares? Actually, not who cares. Let's set that aside.
No.
I don't
think it's
who
cares. I don't think it matters.
No.
I do think that there is a written code when you are going on vacation
Justin
with
said
people.
that. Yeah.
It's like when people go to Vegas. Things happen in Vegas. And
what's the saying? Whatever happens in Vegas, we don't remember it.
Yes,
that's exactly it.
That's
verbatim.
it. Sure, verbatim. I think yes. Mm-hmm. So it is like whether you agree with that, but that is, and even Brandon talked about that. And I think
poor Brandon, he was just like up against the wall.
Well, I was going to say
lesbian porn was playing. He was just like this,
like terrified.
You're putting your hand in where?
The mechanic's not fixing the car.
Exactly.
And so, but
I don't think that's what happens in lesbian porn.
I don't know.
I don't think that's that utilitarian. I think they just kind of fuck each other.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
You're the one that listened to a lot of Tori Amos, so I wouldn't know.
I really did.
But that was totally manipulative. It's so funny. Good segue. What I was just literally about to talk about is Patrick totally pulled Brandon into that conversation because he knows Brandon is the youngest and therefore
the most vulnerable.
The most vulnerable in the house, because when you're young like that, unless you grew up with his mother, when you're 22 years old, you can't defend yourself like that in a fight. You don't know how to be.
I learned early.
You learned at 8.
I learned early to basically fight with swords with your words.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
But most people, somebody would come at me like that, and I would be exactly like Brandon, like, I don't know, and you're just trying to people please and try to watch thing over.
And I was reading them for filth when I was 13.
And I love that when Cheyenne walked into the room, Cheyenne said, so what are you doing? You're talking to him about this?
And they backed down.
And then they backed down. But yeah, Patrick did basically to Brandon what the same thing he did to his ex-boyfriend Chris Salvatore before. And then he acts like he literally is one of those people who walks in a room, pulls down his pants, shits all over everything, and then pulls up his pants and says, what, I didn't do anything.
And then it's like, so figure that out.
Yeah, so figure out my shit that I shit, but I didn't do anything.
Yeah. I think he's probably a mess in relationships.
I think he's on drugs. I'm telling you. I think Cheyenne said when something mentally was off.
Yeah, something. Anyway, I want to talk about when
but he
in
got
the moment
time.
of Kassan and Jorge when Fabio the
let's
famous
be done with the fight. We're moving on.
We're moving on. So the famous Fabio shows up.
There's another tea bag.
And he goes, and we're gonna show how that worked. He goes, Fabio. And so Fabio comes up, who's a little bit older than
Fabio
we
is his
thought.
boyfriend. Yeah, I do love when Brandon was like, ooh.
He's like, Daddy.
Brandon's ass
Daddy.
was giggling on that
he's
one.
like, why am I hot already?
Yeah, it was amazing.
Boy,
You know what?
That's
You grew on me, Brandon. You know your brand.
it's true,
You
and you're not apologetic
You
about
know,
it.
good for you, baby
Good
B.
for you.
Good
Get
for
yours,
you.
baby B.
So Fabio, Ricardo, what's his name?
Fabio.
Fabio shows
Fabio.
up.
So we're gonna do a little bit. This is another
This is a
tea
TV
time theater break.
Theater break.
So
And
I will be playing Jorge as per usual,
and I will
He'll
be playing Pedro.
Fabio. So okay, here we go. And scene. Piano music playing. Piano music playing. Piano music. I'm running toward him, lovingly embrace.
We're not going to do that.
We're not going to kiss.
We're not going to do
because
that
that's
part.
gross. Anyway, and you're here, Fabio. I love you. Do you love me? No. Okay. So I'm
very
so
so.
glad you're here. What you do in Ibiza?
No boys. No boys in Ibiza.
You know fuck boy in Ibiza?
No. Jew?
You mean I fuck boy here?
Jew? Mistresses?
I have one main mistress. Maybe another Italian. Maybe another down the block. Scoop to like 8 mistresses talking about.
Xylophone's playing right now, too.
And maybe I fuck whole island.
Oh.
But I loved you.
Right hand. Right hand. Your ring on wrong hand. What's that mean?
I loved you. You love?
Love Jew.
Oh, scene! We love each other. That was it.
That was actually more entertaining than the actual show.
I just like that he said, I love you at the end, and it was all over.
And literally...
What's your ring on the other hand? I forgot about that part.
Literally, it's supposed to be like right before that, Kassan and Jorge were talking, and I could tell Kassan was supposed to be punking him about and talking about Fabio. But you know what? It was pretty hysterical because Fabio was just like, whatever. He was like, I'm not into him. But and then it was weird music, by the way, like a Valtrex commercial.
It was.
It was very odd.
It was very much like, and I found the doctor suggested I try Valtrex. Now we can control my herpes symptoms.
Yes, it was like happy music. I think.
And now we can have sex again.
And now we can. It was when they were talking about him.
Not
Kassan,
us.
When he said, Kassan said, I've been making a decision. He said, and I'm moving back to New York. Cue sex music. It was weird. It was weird.
I'm sorry.
This was
the decision to move from LA to New York, especially out here and in New York. Oh God, it's like the tale as old as time.
And
I just can't hear it anymore.
I can't even sing it because I'm beat down from this episode.
Anyway,
I do think that producers, I think they kind of blew their load last episode, and then
I
they
kind of agree with
realized
that.
we've got nothing. So what's an activity we could have all of them do the next day after the fight? And what's your next teabag, Poodle? I set you up. That was like a double dribble.
I'm not talking about the workout, right? That's yours.
Oh, that was for me. I just set myself up. Okay, I'll go. Then you could.
I'm glad I'm handling this. Oh,
It's true. So that is. I don't know what they had. I guess there weren't any parties till the end because normally they go to parties.
Cheyenne was like, "We're gonna have a workout.
Yeah, we're gonna
It's
work out." And he's like, "I don't want to talk about. I forget it. I don't want to think about him," which means you're pissed still. And so they decided to have
It was
a weird
sad workout.
It was a sad workout, and then like halfway in the middle of it, they say, "Let's just
We're
drink
tired.
now.
Let's
We're
drink."
tired. It's Sandy. Let's drink."
And it was like really bad, like Suzanne Summers. I lift up the glass to my mouth.
And then
I think I have the Suzanne Summers in that closet, the 3-in-1 poncho.
I think you do. And I also think that like a rosé company had to have sponsored this episode, right? Because
It had to have. I want to talk about the next other activity when Justin took Baby B out to meet the old ones.
oh, you mean gay platoon?
Yes.
That's what it was.
He went them to take The old wise ones.
It was
the old trolls who lived way back in the time before AIDS.
It was like Lord of the Rings. You shall not have ass.
That was good. That was good.
It's Gandalf.
You kind of you open this like old cave, and these like old half-blind gophers walk out, and they're like, "What? Who summoned me?
Who summoned the old gays to the round table?"
And they walk out, and Baby's like, "I didn't even know people lived here in the 40s."
And they're like, "Whoa, Rosé."
And he's like, "I wouldn't know what to do without you. I mean, you think about what I did. I would have died if I were you, and you would have.
You would have died.
Baby B, you'd be dead right now.
You would have died. It was, yeah.
You would have had not just AIDS, but double AIDS."
Wow. Wow.
They would have said, the doctors would have said, "Now that's a case I've never seen before."
You know what? If we looked like him and we went to Fire Island, we would too.
I'd be eat up with it.
Wow. That's a country saying. Eat up with it. That is a country as fuck saying.
So, and I also like how Brandon was like, and he was probably thinking, wait, they're so old. Do they still have sex with each other?
He probably was.
But I just
Again, it was just weird moments.
He said they've been together for 40 years, and I could almost hear Baby B say, "Wow, I didn't even want a boyfriend for the summer."
Which, we didn't talk about this as a thing, but we feel like somebody got dropped this episode.
Did anybody else notice a very big hole in the episode? I mean, tall hole.
With a big swinging axe.
Paul Bunyan. I'm coming, boys. Okay,
literally,
he was
in
like in
every
4
episode.
episodes.
Yeah, and now
he might as well have been a cast member.
And now it's like at the end, it's Chris Salvatore, Fabio, and then
some other randoms who were just there.
We got invested in him, Logo.
I want to know what happened to Paul Bunyan.
What was his real name? Jalen. That's a stupid name.
Maybe he and his Blue Ox got in a domestic partnership, and
maybe
he went back to Mormon church.
All right, let's go to Teabag. I'm just going to say number 8.
Sounds about right.
Right.
Is it my turn or yours?
No, I can go, actually.
Go ahead.
This isn't about the fight. This is the other next. They just had their last night, and they wake up in the morning.
This episode never ended.
Because it didn't. Kassan's, nervous because he's got a big dance thing and all this kind of stuff. But
for Betty, who's like a low-rent Katy Perry.
Yeah, and they're all sitting there talking, and Patrick walks in, and this is what, we could tell a little bit when Justin was on our show. Not to name drop, but there wasn't a lot of love for Patrick. I'm not putting words in Justin's mouth. I'm just saying that was our experience.
Yes.
We could have asked Kassan that. Kassan was going to do an interview, and then he got busy, and he didn't email us back.
Honestly,
but that's okay.
I've just got to say, Patrick, I really wanted to enjoy him. This episode and the last one just put such a bad taste in my mouth.
I knew it was over after the country
song.
song.
I like him, but it's just gross.
After the country song, I
can't
couldn't
even feel scandalized. I just feel grossed out by it.
Yeah, I feel like I've been.
He's probably watching it and kind of grossed out.
I feel like I've been molested, like skeezed out. You know what I mean?
I felt like rape.
But what I was going to say, did you notice how when he walked
ghost
in?
Rape.
Yes, it's true. You know how when he walked back,
I have bruises from when you grabbed me the other night. Not that sounded dirty, but when you grabbed me the other week.
You know what? Focus, Sybil. You want Chris to leave a fucking comment? I'm trying to focus. So when Patrick walks in the house the next morning, it reminded me the way everybody acted. Remember, because I know you did this to someone. Remember when you were on the playground playing with your group of girls who all love you, and you were a head bitch, and then somebody tried to come into your space, and everybody was just like, ugh.
Yeah, I mean, we mean girled them. I had no problem with that.
What's her name? She's still around?
Robin Sanders.
Poor Robin Sanders. But was she a bitch like Patrick? Or was she just weird? But
she was just strange.
You know how you have those people that it's just, that's what I felt like. I literally took me back to when I was on the playground.
Although then I got awkward, and then I think I was that girl.
Though that's going to say that's how it made me feel, because I was usually I would try to go play kickball with other boys, and they would say, "Why don't you put down your Wonder Woman lasso and maybe you can?"
You know what? I think I would have said, "Look at that fucking Nancy."
You probably would.
I would have been the one who bullied you and come up with names for you.
I am wearing my Wonder Woman shirt because it comes out today. Go see Wonder Woman.
You have no idea out there how tired I am about hearing about Wonder Woman. But
So excited. All right.
Anyway,
Teabag number 9.
I have my last one. Is the very uncomfortable conversation when Kyle took Cheyenne into the other room, and it was like 20 questions, rapid fire. Why was this guy in the worst stilted manner where producers obviously gave, why were you in this guy's room? Why was this guy in your room for 10 hours? We were just sleeping. Everyone has had this conversation, whether you've cheated or not.
You've been there.
Whether it's like, and it's just like you may have done something to encourage something. It's like, why were you like?
Yeah, and my favorite's like, he was like, who's this Alex? How'd you meet him? He's Patrick's friend. And then Cheyenne says, "Oh, I'll just call him."
I was like, how do you have his number? And I went, ah!
And then you just hear Cheyenne go, over! Because he probably did fuck around with it. But again, who cares?
That gave every gay man who was watching this show, who had been in the relationship, who had that moment, like, your nerves were on outside of your body.
We've been there.
Anyway, I enjoyed it.
But however, though, the next day, they all go to this Betty.
Everything was great.
Everything's coming up roses.
I'm having the time of my life. Baby B makes out with Chris Salvatore,
which
like some kind of weird red herring.
That's a mismatch. Yeah, he's too old or too young for Baby B. But look, I don't know who this Betty Who is, and I like her. Her music seems nice.
She was interesting.
I love seeing Kassan is doing a lot for her still on his Instagram stories. I watch it, and I enjoy it very much, Kassan, because I love you.
We're not stalking him at all.
At all. But I'm sorry. Unless you're Lady Gaga or Madonna, you're not going to fix these problems with the gay. Like, you're not that good.
Also, there were like 50 people.
there was like, but I'm just saying, everybody's like,
let's be honest, there were probably like 100 people.
And they heard this concert, and everybody's like, "Oh, this summer was amazing." It was like the producers gave them all booty bumps before they could say, "Dance your cares away," and they were like, "Yes." And I'm like, "I'm sorry, you're not 15. You're all like 30-year-old adults."
The real leaving was, I'm really hungover and I hate everyone, and no one talked on the ferry home.
And do you know what?
That's the real story.
I would have appreciated that
Me
more.
too.
If the show had ended where they said, where people like Cheyenne had said, "Fuck this, I'm not staying for this, I'm out," or even,
because you know what? Sometimes things don't work out, and that's the world.
And you know what? It really is a lesson that I think that I wish there was just, when we're talking about it, I know that there's no true reality TV anymore. It's all scripted. But at least let us think that there's some semblance of authenticity to what's happening. A seed of truth.
And that's what kind of really stuck in my craw.
It was like a soap opera.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I got like an emotional wedgie.
Yes. It was like the producer said, "We're going to lead you along, get you to start to really care about these characters," because not last episode, but the episode before was really good.
Yeah.
Really, remember when they're talking about Jorge's dad and all that?
It was good television. The last 2 episodes were trashy reality TV.
Trashy, and honestly, a really poor representation
of gay men.
I
just have to have one more thing, a quote and quotable from Patrick.
Okay, sure.
In his, I'm sure he came up with, and producer said, "Yeah, say that." It's very McConaughey.
It's very McConaughey.
He was like, "I'm just so excited, I don't know what the future holds, because I thought I had all the answers, but now all I have is questions."
Wow. Which is so... He hit his head on the mic again, everybody, if you're listening.
I mean, honestly, it's supposed to sound profound, but it just sounds asinine.
And he didn't even... Everybody else left the island. He just walked a block back home.
He just walked there with his gym bag.
To like some probably outhouse he's crashing at because he doesn't want to pay rent. It's some guy who who thinks it's his son and doesn't even know because he has dementia and he's just living off his Fire Island retirement.
That's quite vivid.
Well, I'm just saying.
I honestly think he fared the worst, and maybe that's me, and I think it's probably his fault.
Who do you think fared the best? Who do you think? Who would? let me specify. By saying fared the best, who do you feel like had kind of the most growth of the season, and we really got a just a good idea of who they were? Jorge.
I think the most lovable person of the whole cast.
Okay.
I think Cheyenne probably got the most. They tried to give him an arc, but I don't think he's the kind of no bullshit person. I thought Cheyenne was being him the whole time.
If
with very little producer.
I think he did it all. To me, I was going to say for me, who I think fared the best for this, for me, is Cheyenne.
I agree.
And I cannot believe that I'm saying that, but I did ask Cheyenne to be on the show too, but he never messaged me back.
Didn't contact him.
I even told him I apologized and that I love him now, but he didn't contact me.
I think he's already into other things. I think they all kind of fared pretty well. I think Patrick did not.
Too, I think that I've noticed just in looking at, I'm reading between the socials here. I like that. Instead of reading between the lines, reading between the socials. I like that.
God.
But Cheyenne, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong if they've seen it, but I don't think I've seen him post anything about the show on social media where everybody else has. So I think that definitely
everyone else has been working the fuck out of this show.
Which who's worked the most out of it is Patrick.
Has he?
Because I think she sees her screen time is ending because no one's going to give any fucks. That what's probably going to happen? Patrick's going to be the next fucking Finding Prince Charming because Logo wouldn't know. They wouldn't know quality if it fell out of their ass with a bow on it.
I desperately want a reunion. I don't know if we're going to get it from Logo.
I don't. They didn't have a next week. It was the finale.
Because
that would have been better to do last week, to wrap all this shit up last week, and then to do a reunion.
Because honestly, it feels fake right here to me.
It feels fake, yeah.
So you know what? We're not singing a song.
We're not singing a song, but we do still want to read your comments because I am actually.
So we're going to slap a nice face on it.
Yeah, and we learned so much. But no, do leave your comments on the show.
We did learn a lot
because we're interested. I am interested to read what y'all thought of this. Did you think it was fake? Did you think it was real? Were you moved by this?
Who did you hate? Who did you like?
Yeah, let us know. If you think that
do you like our format?
Yeah, I don't care about that. You don't have to talk
You're
about
right.
that.
I don't give a fuck.
I'm done with that. We're done with that show. We're done with.
We're also gonna we're looking at our next show. What we're gonna do, everybody. So
we're gonna act mysterious as if we're teasing you, but really we don't know what the
fuck
we're gonna do.
Idea.
We've been talking about this for like a week, so
it's gonna be something we hope you'll enjoy. We think
we do. Hopefully you enjoy this. Now, if you do
more
miss
important
us,
that we like it.
Sorry, I'm going to do a little self-plug, but I am recapping a show on AfterBuzz TV. I'll put the link in the show notes.
It's all about her.
For what happens. Wait, watch what happens at the. No, I always get the show name wrong. Not watch what happens at the Abbey.
Look at this promotion skills. It's so slick. This one wants to host, by the way.
It's what happens at the Abbey, the show on E. We definitely have opinions on that as well.
I have an opinion.
We
but
talked
I'm not
about doing
say.
that show, but we couldn't do it. So I got roped to do it after us. But I like the people I co-host with.
If you've had a lobotomy, I hear it's great.
We're having the guy that plays Kyle, the shirtless bartender, is going to be on the show this Sunday. Comes on Sunday night. You can watch it live on YouTube or listen to the podcast at AfterBuzz TV. Just follow them on YouTube, and we will let you know what we are planning.
And the next show will end better than this one.
Because we'll actually have a song. Boy,
because we care about it.
I don't know how I feel about the world now. This just threw me for a loop.
With today and the whole climate thing? Oh, fuck that shit. All right. I wanna just sing a little bit of He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. And fuck you, Trump! Bye!
We just got dark.